And we are live. Hey,
Yes.
Kimmy.
Hi, how are
Hi,
you?
everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me go live on Instagram. Yes. So, Kimmy, how are you doing?
Doing good. Keeping busy. Work's busy, home life is busy. We're in the middle of a move, so there's a lot of change, a lot of transition, but it's so exciting and it's just so great to be on this new adventure. So, you know,
Don't I know that? Don't I know that? So,
I
for those
know
of you
you
who are just
know it.
joining us for the first time, my name is Dr. Lulu, aka the Momatrician, and yes, I am an agitator. And don't you know that post on Instagram took off? The one about live your life such that Florida will ban you or something. I don't know. I'm paraphrasing it. Oh my God. So we are Mama Beasts and we truly do not give a fuck. We are moms of trans kids and we come as much as we can every Sunday to kind of come all up in your face, all up in your face and just normalize conversations about being parents of trans kids who don't care. And if you don't know yet, for those of you who think you can come at me on social media with your homophobia, I am. Kimmy, what is do you watch football, Kimmy?
Yeah.
What is the person that catches the ball? Do they have a name? Is it like a catcher? I mean,
Well, they throw to a quarterback. Sometimes they throw to
um,
the
and then the
other.
quarterback, the quarterback throws, but who's the person
Oh,
that catches? Do they have a name?
I don't know the positions. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
You're making
I'm
me
a
look
catcher.
bad here.
We're just gonna call it a
Yeah,
catcher
I
because
watch
we don't
football
know.
though.
Yeah, I don't want
They throw the
football. That's
ball
like
and there's points and
I mean, and men are falling on each other. I mean, what are you gonna say,
I don't
But
know. Their uniforms are cool.
I know they have big shoulder pads. I am a catcher. I think it's maybe cricket or baseball that there's actually someone called a catcher. So I'm definitely a catcher. I will catch a ball and I will even throw it back to you. And yes, I may not be Serena Williams, but I will serve at over 85 miles an hour and you have to catch it back. And I'm just so thankful that in the past few days, a few weeks, I've just been learning how to catch even more. What about you, Kimmy? How have you been? Have you been experiencing any kind of homophobia online as a mom of a trans kid?
Um, only in the comments for our podcast, but that's about it.
Mm,
I mean, other than
mm,
other than that, my circle is close for my tight family, and I don't have any issues with it day to day for myself.
mm,
People like acquaintances, maybe on Facebook and stuff like that. I
mm.
think I've pretty much, just kind of parsed out a few that, maybe just weren't on board or would say certain things that was either going to start a war or, so
It's not
I
a
was like,
war.
look, this is
I
not
love
worth
it.
it. This is not worth
We're
it.
getting,
We got to
yeah,
cut
we're getting.
ties.
Sorry, we're getting a lot of love. I didn't mean to interrupt you. We're getting a lot of
Oh, you're
love on
fine.
Instagram, and on Instagram they're telling us it's called wide receiver.
Oh, thank
So
you.
that's okay. So
Thank you.
thank you all so much on Instagram. Yes, yes, yes.
I
We
knew
love.
somebody would come in with like the right terms.
Somebody
I'm
else
like,
said
oh,
receiver. Somebody else said receiver, and then somebody else said wide receiver. But I think wide receiver is correct. Oh, the same
yeah.
person, Anveya Fitz. Thank you so much. Yeah, and Anveya Fitz says that they loved that particular post that says "Live your life such that Florida will ban you." I mean, what else, right? What
I
else?
love that post. That was a good one. I was like, I'm working on it.
Yes, yes, I saw that. I saw that. Kimmy said, "I'm working on it right now." I was like, "Yes, yes."
Yes.
And then
Amen.
I asked him, I said, could I have an amen? And everyone is just giving me amens and amens and amens as they should. As they should. So, one of the things that we as queer people are no longer going to give is any fucks, which means if somebody comes at us and brings any kind of hatred, we will neutralize, we will even throw it back at you if care is not taken. Because I know Kim, you're the one that says this all the time that the loudness on the other side is almost overwhelming. One of the podcasts that I've been on recently was Queer Family Podcast, and actually the host, I forget her name, was talking today on her page how in New York, this Moms for Liberty and another group, kind of kind of inserted some choice words into some legislature, and they were about to like challenge the freedoms of LGBT plus people, and then people came and testified, and one of them was Elliot Page and other people. I was like, wow, that must be serious. Can you imagine New York trying to be homophobic in that sense? Oh my
It
goodness.
doesn't even make sense. I mean, it is, and you know, I'm gonna read. Yeah, I mean, I was trying to come up with a few topics for today, right, to talk about, and I was thinking, how creative and how talented are people in the LGBTQ community, and I started thinking about all the, because of course I have two transgender kids, so I hang out with a lot of different, people, and they're so talented and so creative. If I could just bottle that and drink it, that would be great. But I just appreciate them so much. But talent congregates in New York. Like
Not only that, queer people generally are very talented people. They're very artsy people. They're
they
very creative
are, yeah.
people. I don't think the fashion world would make it, period, without the queer folks. I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't think music will make it without queer folks. I don't think entertainment will make it. I mean, right off the top of my head, of course, one of them is Elliot Page. I watched that movie when I guess they were still before they transitioned, and the
Mhm.
movie is called Kalula or something like that, or Tallulah or something like that.
Yeah.
And that was such a nice movie. I recognized it. That's isn't that Elliot Page? So that was definitely
Mhm.
before transitioning, because they played a mom of a child in the movie, or a girlfriend of a person, and then I guess they stole a baby and all that. But it's amazing how. And thank you so much. Oh, and VA. Okay, I have no fucks left to give. Yes, yes, that's us, honey.
Good club.
That's us. Yeah, we do not.
Put that comment on the screen. Put that. You gotta put. Can you do
So this
that?
person is on. This person is on Instagram.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't know how to do those yet because I don't think
All right.
yeah, but we but they also said we have had several trans teens and young adults join us. Exceptional. Very good. So RVA Fitz, tell us what that is. What are you talking about? Because we would like to feature you on our podcast. We're always looking for people to come on our show. Kim and I are always looking for people to come on our show. We came today because our guest didn't show. Their husband took ill, which it happens.
Happens.
So you kind of have the two of us, which of course the two of us are enough. But one of the things that we do is have people come on the show. Right now, we're booking into December, second week of December, as at today. So let us know if you'd like to come on the show. We'll be so happy to have you. But Kim, you are saying something about creativity, and I agree with you. Queer folks, period, but
Mhm.
trans and non-trans, we are fairly creative people, and I'm so proud of that. But go ahead, Kim. What were you saying?
Yeah, I just feel like, and New York is one of those places that, really make people famous, and I just can't see where you wouldn't allow folks of all different kinds in New York City. It's like the Big Apple. It's like the American dream. It is, you know, yeah, I can't imagine. I can't, like you said, I can't imagine the entertainment industry without queer people in it.
Yeah,
Be
yeah.
boring.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It'll be nothing. It'll be nothing. On VA says that they would like to join a live session. So on VA, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you to please send me a DM while you can, if you can, before you forget, and then we'll take it from there. But absolutely, would like to. Kim and I go live on Instagram from time to time. I go live from time to time. There's always something to talk about in the queer community. There's just so much hate. It's almost
Mm.
beautiful, right? Because of the resilience. And I know people talk about resiliency a lot, and I'm one of those people that say, we should stop glamorizing our resilience because we should not have to be resilient so much, to be so resilient. And Matt just joined us. Hey Matt, we just called your name a minute ago. Hey Matt. All right, your baby's on
My
Instagram.
baby.
Yeah, we're not supposed to be glamorizing the fact that we're resilient because we should not having to play our resiliency card. I don't want to play it every day. It's exhausting. So, Kimmy, what are your thoughts about that?
Say that again. Like residency. by meaning,
Resiliency, like we're resilient.
oh, resilient. Oh,
I'm Nigerian, so I call it resilient. So like we're resilient. So what are your thoughts about just, oh yeah, well you're resilient people, what about that? What about that?
resilient people get tired.
Yeah, right?
I've been told I've been resilient in some occasions, and I don't feel resilient. I guess resilient is an observation in my book. I mean, you observe somebody showing tremendous courage, a ton of strength, willpower beyond belief, pulling themselves up from the floor, from the depths of wherever they're at. That is resilient. And we see it all the time in the queer community, for
Yeah.
sure. But why? Why do we have to be so resilient?
Exactly. Why do
I
we have
mean,
to play the card? I mean, we can save it for when the lion comes to attack, when I don't know, the plane is about to crash land. There are so many on a day-to-day basis. I just don't want to keep being, oh yeah. Yeah, well, you can take it. Yeah, we don't want to
nah,
always have to play that card. That's what I'm saying.
yeah. Yeah. And it can get, if you have to be resilient so often, it can wear you down. I mean, that can change you as a person. Um, I mean, I think, people with long-term like PTSD and things like that can probably relate. You you're trying to be resilient, trying to be resilient. I can make it one more month, I can make it one more whatever,
Yes.
and you get tired. You get tired, and it can change
Get
you as a
tired.
person. Yeah.
And that is why we have such a high mental health, such a high suicide rate in the queer community. So I am begging y'all out there, just because somebody is resilient, however you say the word, doesn't mean you should push them to play the card. Matthew says, my ears were burning. Matthew. Okay, Matthew. That's why Matthew joined, because it is a word. And then Amia says, sure. One of our interns from the LGBTQIA referred to today's event. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. All right, Kimmy, we're famous.
What?
Somebody says one of their interns told them about about our podcast. And so they joined. Yeah, thank you all so much.
Welcome.
We try to come live every Sunday. We try to come and talk about the things that are plaguing the community. Kim, I know one of the things that you really wanted to talk about is the fact that it is prom season. But before we say that, somebody's giving us flowers. JP for him says, you two are a dynamic force. Love your boat. And howdy doody from cousin
That's
Judy. So
Judy.
I guess that's cousin Judy.
All
Okay, good.
right.
Hi,
Cousin
cousin
Judy's
Judy.
bringing in the crowd.
Yes, cousin Judy sent me a message today about I think it was my post about homophobia in medicine, which I want to talk about today after we come back from the break. About I forgot what she said, but it was something that sounded just like Judy, but it was something good, which was something else. That's how to way to rattle or whatever. I don't know, who knows what Judy said. But hi, Judy.
Come on in.
Come on in, folks. All right, Judy, they're coming.
Oh,
Just
bring them in, Judy. Bring them in.
If you share it once on your page, we'll get more people. Actually, let me do that as we go to break. But yeah, so we are Mama Beasts, and we truly do not give a fuck. We ran out of fucks the day we gave our kids, the day we gave birth to our kids, and our kids told us that they were trans, and we realized, even really the day we gave birth, period. But more so, the beast mode came out when our kids said they're trans or their gender non-binary or anything in the LGBT plus community. That is the day that will come out. So we're ready for y'all. I'm going to go ahead and share it on Facebook so that somebody can see it. And yeah. So Kimmy, I know you had some things you wanted to talk about. Do you still have your list of things that you wanted to talk about? One of them was prom.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to make mention how I've just really enjoyed seeing all the prom pictures and things like that in the Parents Supporting Parents Facebook group. People are looking good. I've also seen some posts just personally of some of the kids' friends and all that. So everybody's looking good, everybody's sporting it, but it's a it can be a stressful time of the year, I think, in some households. I know when it comes time to prom shopping, and so
Yeah,
I
I
just
want
thought
us to talk.
it was a timely topic, and
Yeah, I want us to talk about it. Actually, I want to talk about my eldest child is the one who is transgender. I grew up in a country where we don't have prom. So as a first time mom in that regard, I learned everything from her. Now, she went to prom before she began to transition. So she went to prom as a gender that she was assigned at birth, which was male. And I remember she not wanting to go to prom.
yeah.
Obviously, I don't know if that had something to do with it, but she just did not want to go. And as my first child, I really wanted to experience it. I was like, please, you're gonna have to go. Please, everybody likes the. I mean, what do you mean you don't want to go? That kind of thing. I was like, well, obviously, I don't know what. Now I don't know, but there was a girl, and then she wore a pink dress, and so we got her, my daughter, a pink tie, matching pink tie, and the pink scarf thing, and we had to learn how to knot the tie and all the things. It was for me. It was an experience. She did not like it. She didn't want to go at all. Now I'm thinking it was probably something to do with gender dysphoria. So let's talk a little bit about that because in our Facebook group we've had some of the moms sharing their children's prom dresses, sharing I guess the experience with us.
Yeah.
I'm just one of them. The kid is just gorgeous. This tall damsel, the pink, long pink dress. I was like, ooh.
Blonde.
The,
Uh, like,
one of the one of the kids that the mom shared the picture is a
yeah.
tall, gorgeous girl in a pink dress. I
Yeah.
don't know the hair color, but I was just so happy to see that. And I
That's
do want to talk about gender dysphoria and prom. And I guess from my own experience, and maybe I'm going to add this to my book because I wasn't going to, but just about prom. Because if your child, this is me now going out on a limb, if your child has not shared their true gender identity with you, then I can see how potentially they might have dysphoria peak during this prom season if they're going to have to wear an outfit that does not align with the gender identity that they have. So, parents, maybe just a sound of just a little subtle hint. One of the reasons your kid might not be excited to go to the prom may be the outfit. Now, Kim, I almost think that that's the mom who was a little nervous about their child going shopping. Do you remember there was a mom that had mentioned something about that?
yeah. I actually I replied to that post,
Yeah, I remember.
and
That's what I was asking. I wonder if
yeah,
that's the mom. I wonder if that's the mom.
I
If
would
that's the
have to
same
go
mom.
connect the dots because that
Yes.
would be interesting for
That'll be
sure.
very, very interesting if that's the mom. So, y'all, if you're wondering what mom, what are they talking about? So, we have a Facebook group. It's called Parents Supporting Parents, and in parentheses, LGBTQ plus families. It's a Facebook group that I started way before my Facebook got hacked. So it just happened to still survive the hack. I don't know how. And we are just parents, mostly moms, I'm going to come out and say it, of LGBT kids, trans kids, and all the things who are just holding space for each other. And we had a mom maybe a couple of weeks ago just was a little concerned about going prom shopping and how that was going to play out, the dress, the anxiety, how the child is going to dress. Are they going to dress up in which gender? Are they going to show up? And I remember going, coaching. I was like, well, is it really the dress that's bothering you? Or is it the prom? Or is it the child? What is it? But in the end, well, last 2 days ago, we had a mom share pictures, and I didn't go back to look, but I'm suspecting it might be the same mother, Kim. It might
Yeah,
be the same
could
mother.
be, could
Amazing
be.
because she was really happy. With
I
it.
know, and you know what? That's what keeps a mom going. That's what keeps a mom going. When you feel that like pitter patter in your heart, like please let this outfit be the one. Please let this outfit be the one. And when it is, it's the best feeling, the best moment ever.
Yeah. I
After
don't
that, I
know.
may have cried. I don't know, but he would
Yeah,
have.
but I was just, I mean, you know what? Nobody knows, but it doesn't matter because everybody to each their own. For me, as a quote unquote, air quotes now, air quotes boy mom, it wasn't that much of a, well, again, with the in the premise of I am Nigerian, I grew up in Nigeria, we don't have prom over there. I don't know what, I was like,
You
what's the
don't know
big
what the
deal
big
about
deal
prom?
is. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
However, comma, as a boy mom, I feel like it may not be that big a deal for cis het boys. Let's go there. Let's go there first. For cis het boys who just have to wear a suit, maybe matching scarf thing, right? I want to still reiterate that if your child is indeed gender diverse, this may be another point in their growth and development where there's major gender dysphoria because they're having to go to the prom as a gender that may not be in alignment, and they're having to dress up and act pretty and be all happy, where if they already are aware, then there's a misalignment. So that's what I want to say. I never thought about that until this moment. So, but Kimmy, what are your thoughts about that? Because how did you navigate prom with your children who are both trans men?
Yeah, I'm not a girly girl, so I wasn't really looking forward to girly girl prom shopping. Um, I just wanted them to be happy and comfortable in whatever they wore. And it turns out, we didn't wear any dresses to either prom with both my kids. So in my sense, I lucked out because all I did was walk into Men's Warehouse and be like, here, here's my kid, dress them. And, it was a wonderful experience. And thank goodness it was, because it could have been a nightmare. One of the things that and Matt's given me permission to share my version of this story, but when we walked in, it came time to kind of measure and kind of get width of, the chest and wherever the men get measured. So she measured around the chest, and then she just kind of leaned in really close, and she's like, honey, come here for a second. Can I ask if you're binding? And we were like, yeah. And she's like, I got you. And she just went to town and hooked him up. Like, she's like, I'm going to measure hips, because even though like Men's Warehouse men don't usually get their hips measured, we're going to need to measure your hips. And so she goes, that will help me pick out the right kind of pants. So we actually stumbled upon a gem
I
of
love
somebody
that.
that could help us put together an outfit. And he looked amazing.
I love that story you just shared because again, it's just like going to the, maybe not the doctor, that's the wrong example today, but there are some affirming doctors, so let's go there. It's almost like going to the doctor or going to, I don't know, a personal shopper, or even hiring an assistant. Anything that you have to include somebody else, if you're hiring them or going to them for that service, I think the lesson from what you just said is to let them do their thing. But how amazing that y'all lucked out to find someone who also was obviously an affirming person. And yes, and I think I love that they asked the question and
Mm-hmm.
y'all didn't put up blazing swords, because that's what happens as
I was
parents.
ready.
Sometimes,
I
yes,
was ready to.
and then sometimes it's an overkill because if
I
she
know.
didn't, if she wasn't comfortable enough to ask the question, she wouldn't have been able to help your child that much more. So I think the lesson here is sometimes not everyone means evil. I know how this sounds, but
No, it's
unfortunately,
true. It's true.
unfortunately, there's so many people out there who mean evil. You just have to have all your guards on all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And
Judy
Judy,
remembers the prom pics. Yeah.
yeah, and this is exactly what. So again, I just want to come back and mention really quickly to the parents who may or may not be aware that your child is gender diverse. This is just one more thing that you may need to be aware. If your child is pushing back or not showing any interest or not wanting to go or not wanting to pick the outfit, maybe being reluctant to pick the outfit, maybe is because of something else. And so I'm asking you to not come with What do you mean you don't want to pick up the archery? What do you mean you don't want to go to the prom? This is da, 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 because sometimes it's more. I miss that completely. And that's one of the reasons I love to tell my story, because there's so many things I didn't know. She just didn't want to go to the prom period. And we're like, well, you like such and such now. You're friends, aren't you? We're like, yeah. Okay, so don't you want to go with her? Okay, mom, I'm gonna go. Like on the last, like on the day of the prom.
Of course.
Yes,
Of
we had to
course.
run to, was it TJ Maxx or whoever to buy? Oh my God. But now it may have been that was going on. So
Yeah.
anyway, I just thought I thought you wanted to talk about
It's a
that. And I
good,
wanted,
yeah, it's a good topic, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so kudos to all the parents out there who are affirming. Kudos to all the parents out there who step back a bit. I talk about this gender affirmation being something that starts at the age of 2 or 3. And my example is always, if the little girl doesn't want to wear the dress, if the little girl doesn't want to wear the dress, I use that as my permanent example for a 3-year-old and gender affirmation. Rather than saying, what do you mean you don't want to wear the dress with the pom-poms? Maybe just say, oh, well, tell me more. Like, is it the dress is itchy? Is it tight? Or maybe you just want to wear pants. Is it more comfortable? I want parents to feel empowered enough to ask more. Just lean into curiosity. We have a bunch of comments here. Kimmy, somebody says that's such an incredible story. I'm not sure what story. Maybe it's okay. And then Matt says, don't get me wrong. As someone who was out and proud, this was a great experience. I felt seen. You see, that's Matt. Matt was saying that. So Matt, thank you so much. As someone who was out and proud, I felt seen somewhere where I thought wasn't the best fit for me. Exactly.
Yeah. We expected the worst. We expected to draw swords, and we didn't have to.
Yeah, exactly. But you brought your swords with you, just in case.
We did. I never put them down.
And that is one of the reasons that you talk about mental health in the parents of queer kids all the time. Kim is always talking about that. I remember a while back when the Facebook group was still very new, we had a dad who was actively suicidal because his only son was gay. So people have to know that this is not always so easy. Oh, Anaya said that they have to run. None of our boys went to prom and we didn't push. Well, there you go. Anaya says I have to run, but it's been great. Okay, well, I'll see you later. If you send me a DM, then I'll definitely see you. But thank you for joining us for all this work. But yeah, so Kim, that was a great, that's a topic that maybe we wouldn't have gotten to talk about if our guests had been here or otherwise. Yeah. This is good. And one of the things that I try to do is if I see something that is kind of recurring in the Facebook group, I will maybe mention it. But I thought this was a good one. So we are at the bottom of the hour. So the show is the Moms for Trans Kids podcast. We come every Sunday. The time changes, but it's fine. You will see us whenever we come. And today came at 7:00, which is our old time, because we just I just couldn't get here before now. So we're here. It is also brought to you by my practice, which is Dr. Lulu's Pride Corner. And I want to talk about that a little bit. It is because we got someone coming to knock on the door the other day. And I was like, oh, okay, this is good. Let's talk about it a little bit. And the parents were like, you know what? We just wanted to reach out to you, but this is really not something that we want to do. We don't want our child to be gay. We don't want to affirm our child. We're not interested in that. But we just wanted to reach out to you. So in my mind, I'm like,
Well, then what do they want?
I don't know. But I left the door wide open. I said, come on in whenever you're ready.
The timing must have not maybe the timing was off. That's,
Someone that I love very much gave them my information, and they actually went ahead and reached out, and they're just not ready. And you know what? That's okay too. Okay. I think my thing is I usually say if you don't want to affirm your child, honestly, you're not my client, because what am I gonna? We have nothing to talk about. Yeah. I do for the child, and I do know, when I recorded my class last week, I mentioned that I said, for the providers and for the physicians and for the caregivers, there are always two kinds of parents. One group of parents are those who are going to be affirming from the jump. The other group are not affirming. And then of that group, there's another subgroup that are eventually going to be affirming. And so for that reason, I will always leave the door open. But I'm not going to push and fight and push and fight, because one of the things I know as a physician is if you push too hard, the parent is going to take their child, and then guess what? You're not going to see the parent anymore. You're not going to see the child anymore. So, what do you think about that, Kimmy?
I agree with you 100%. 100%. Yeah, if they're not ready, they're not ready. And you know, one of the other things, I know this is kind of going to go into the next topic that I had brought up, but the levels of mama beast mode.
Yes, I know you want to talk about that.
Levels,
Yes.
right? There's levels of mama beast mode, and you can use those levels kind of parallel to how you're handling your clients, because you know, if they're ready, they're ready. Let's go. Let's do
Let's
this.
go.
You know,
Let's go.
but if they're a little hesitant down here, or you know, then you can kind of, you know, kind of back off a little bit as needed. But and the same thing goes with haters, because there's different levels of energy that I'll allow to haters. Let's say I'm protective of my fucks that I give, and who I give them to.
Okay, so you have some. I didn't even have any.
I have some. I have some for the right people.
Mm.
And that's the thing, you know. I'm, you know, out, you know, I might entertain a topic of debate at times, you know, but once you see there's a brick wall that you're never gonna get over, it's now I'm conserving my energy and my fucks for someone else that deserves it.
Yes, I truly don't blame you. I think it's exhausting, and since we're talking about mama beast mode levels, yes, there will be sometimes when you have to draw your swords. And you know, just to give a story about someone else that we know that is fairly popular that drew their sword and even sliced off somebody's ear because they were trying to protect Jesus. So that's for the Christians out there. Slice the person's ear and slice it out because we're like, oh my God, how dare you come touch and Jesus was like, no, not right now, and put the ear back, and the ear went back into place. So there'll be some times when you just draw the sword because you know you're already triggered. And I think moms are going to always be that. I hate that I don't say that with dads enough, because ideally they should be the ones that should be like drawing the swords anyway, right? Being protective. And didn't we have a guest one time, Kimmy, that talked about I forgot what they talked about with the difference in the reactions with fathers versus mothers, how with trans boys we have more dads kind of leaning in than dads of trans women. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that was like,
yeah, I think in, you know, in a masculine world, it is hard for some men to accept the fact that, you know, they've been raising a daughter and they had no idea. But, you know, to those dads, I'm going to tell you that daughter is going to throw a ball just as good or catch a football or tackle somebody, whatever. Look, give it a shot. I mean, I've just seen so many success stories to be a naysayer in all of this.
yeah.
Sorry, I've just seen too many people who have been completely miserable in hiding and then brought into the light and are like achieving.
We had our guest from last week was like that.
I know.
Our guest from last week was like that. I think I don't want to say I feel sorry for the dads, but I do want to say that, even though I don't want to say that, I say that because we live in a world that's so patriarchal and there's so much masculine toxicity that men they almost can't help themselves. Like you're raised to not show anything soft or anything feminine or any shade of pink, and if you do, oh my God, we should kill you, or we should unlive you.
Can I just say that, you know, men get a real raw deal when it comes to this stuff too. I'm not a man hater in any means. I think that, you know, men have been brought up to be a certain way, and it's acceptable, and it can get very you know aggressive on on a masculine side
I
if you're
know.
and so there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure, and women pressure the men to be masculine too because
Yes, that's why exactly.
they
That's
want
why I
to
said I
feel
feel sorry
safe.
for them because they're trapped. That's why I said I almost feel that they have no even
There,
those
it's
who
a
want to
not.
be
It's a
soft.
no win. Yeah, it's
Yes,
a no
they
win.
can't win. Yes, even those who want to be soft can't be because oh my
Right.
God, they're gonna be ridiculed and they're gonna didn't we have was it a mom who shared a story about their child? Somebody told or maybe they told me a story about their child who oh, I know who it is. The Queer Family podcast. The host was talking about yesterday about their child who I think their son who has had long hair for a long time, not gender diverse to their knowledge, right? Is a lesbian couple, not gender diverse to their knowledge, but the kid has had long hair for a long time. And yesterday he wanted a haircut. He said, she said to us, she said, he said, I want a haircut. We didn't coax him to have a haircut. We didn't ask him. We just let him, just grow his hair. Almost like, how our co-host Foster's kid has long hair.
Mhm,
She
mhm.
said, she said we didn't ask him to do anything. He came to us on his own of his own volition and said, I want to cut my hair. And then even after cutting his hair, the kids in the school, the boys in the school would not let him play ball with them. They're like, no, you're too girly. You're a girl. Go play with the girls. You see, so it's like back to that thing about resilience, right? Like
Yeah,
these kids, they can't win. Even the kid who now wants to have a haircut and be boyish, they're
yeah,
still coming for him. So
yeah.
oh my god.
But and all of this is for no good reason because we really need all the sides for our men. I
Yes.
mean, we need well-rounded men
Yes.
to look to and to look up to and to have good role models for our men that we're raising, and they have to be soft and they have to be strong all at the same time,
At the
and
same
it's
time.
not easy. And guess what, women do the same thing.
I was just gonna say that. I was just gonna say, but how about the fact that women
Mhm.
have been soft and strong the entire time?
But
They
men
have
can
been
be that
soft
too.
and
Yeah.
strong. Like last week my dad and I went at my dad. My younger brother, not my baby brother, but the middle brother, has been going through a divorce. They have one child, and so my dad was talking to me about how, oh, poor him, and poor him, like he and his son, such and
Mhm.
such and such. I said, wait, hold up, whoa, hold up. You never one day said poor me and my three kids when I was divorced. Now it's poor him and his one child. It's his child. Like literally, it's
Mhm.
his kid. I mean, what do you like? Oh my god, for real, this is true talk. I said, Daddy, why do y'all not him alone? I said, why do y'all have different levels of whatever for different people, for different genders? A woman who is a single mom gets hate for, oh, what did she do wrong that her marriage fell apart? This is Nigeria now. And then she's a single mom of, I don't know, six kids. And they were like, oh, yeah, she got it. She's got it. And then one guy with one child, oh, poor him.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So, Kimmy, when you said you wanted to talk about different levels of Mama Beast mode, what did you have in mind?
well, you inspired me for that topic because we had a conversation. I'm calling you out. We had a conversation about you saying, we were talking about Alok and how they respond so beautifully and eloquently to people that come at them, come at them. So I was I was just thinking, I've seen you do that. I've seen you do kind of in the middle where you kind of like ask provoking questions, like try to get to the root of what the question or the at you was all about. And then I've seen you just completely like, look, you got to go. So I think we all have different levels. So I was just trying to think, like, what are the different levels? How many different levels of Mama Beast mode do you have, Dr. Lulu? Because I can probably see myself having at least 3 or 4.
I don't know. I've never thought about myself in levels. I've just always been me, the same me. Because one thing I know is I was like this before I became a physician. But specifically
Mhm.
yesterday, I went for the physicians. I went for the physicians in a particular physician group where they took an oath. That's not the same thing as parents who did not take an oath. I mean, well, I guess when you have a child, you take an oath, I guess in a sense. But
Yeah.
these are physicians who took an oath to first do no harm, to always act in the benefit of the patient, to always treat patients with justice. We have the four main, the four big ethical principles. The first one is beneficence, which is always act in the benefit or always do right by your patient. The second one is justice. Always treat all your patients equally. So don't be partial to your patients. The third one is non-maleficence, which is first do no harm. And I can't think of the last one now. But anyway, all four of them are all saying the same thing, to your patient's benefit. So for the doctor to have, first of all, had the word patriot on his Facebook thing. So I went to check and I said, okay, so I see who this person is.
Mhm.
There's nothing wrong with you being a patriot, but in today's America, the patriots are not the ones that are pro LGBT. I'm just going to come out and say it. So because in the Facebook group, one of them called me a bully because I was like, listen, we both took the same oath to first do no harm. And I happen to also be queer and a mother of a transgender child. So if you think that I'm going to bow down, no, I'm not. That's not the same thing as, for me, that
Mhm.
is me and we're the same level. A
Yeah,
random person is, I don't know who they are.
that is a
I don't know.
counterpart. Yeah,
I
that's
don't
a
think this guy,
counterpart.
but we're equal because we're both
Mhm.
physicians and we're both on the same side, ideally, when it comes to
Gotcha.
marginalized people. So I had to go at him, and I was like, and then his friend came to his rescue and said, "Well, you didn't really say." You didn't really say that you're not going to take care of the patient. So this person that is coming for you is definitely a bully. I was like, okay, so since they didn't call my name, since this person didn't call my name, I'm not going to respond to them. I'm not going to give it the time to respond. But as both physicians, if we're in the same room, I'm going to do the exact same thing because both of us are on this side. We have
Mhm.
power, and on this side is a patient who is
Mhm.
trans and has zero power, versus someone that I don't know who is online. Oh, that's different. Alok is not a physician. Neither is
Right.
Jeffrey Marsh. The two people that I listen to, neither one of them are doctors,
Mhm.
but I am a physician,
Mhm.
and I'm a Nigerian physician. And so even the one that said today to take away her BET, her EBT today, I had a comment that said take away her EBT. I didn't know what that was. I had to say, oh, and I started laughing. I said, so because I'm a mom of a transgender child and I'm black, then I have to be on EBT. So all I said to them was like, I'm right behind you in line. And when you're done, don't forget to register for the webinar because I just thought it was comical. That was comical. That's not the same thing as a physician responding to me. I don't care what's in your genitals, as long as as long as you're not vague. What does that
Well,
mean?
okay, back it up because I was not going to bring up the post
Oh, I
because
don't mind bringing up the post at all. I
no,
was going to talk about. I have my own list of things that I want to talk about, and one of them was homophobia in medicine. Yeah,
good, good. Because I loved your
yeah.
response.
I have
I
no
thought
problem to bring it up. Of course,
your
but I don't
response
care.
was absolutely perfect. He's like, dear,
Because of that response.
no, he was
Yeah, go
like,
ahead.
dear patient, and to me, that's
Yes,
already all right. You're coming at me snarky, but continue. So I kept
exactly,
reading.
exactly.
So I kept reading, and he starts talking about like just be, if you wear nail polish and makeup and I misgender you, don't be,
don't be,
offended or whatever. Because your
or
post
whatever.
was, if you wear nail polish or makeup, don't assume that it's female pronouns, which,
Exactly.
look, it's what we do. It's a legitimate, you said what you said. We stand by it. That's all there is to it. It's
Period.
not up for negotiation.
Period. I mean, for real. Period. And I don't know,
Period.
maybe
It's not up.
sometimes they really do think that, oh, don't pick a fight with the wrong person, because I will come for you, specifically because we're both physicians and there's nothing you can do about it. Both of us should both be allies for our marginalized patients, no matter in what way they come.
Please.
So, but first of all, in that physician Facebook group, there's no patient.
No, it was a snarky reply.
Yeah,
but
exactly. So I know he cannot write that. He cannot write that on his
no,
page.
that's not a legit
Right?
answer. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's not what you're going to
I
put.
can write mine on my page because, dear doctor, because that's my child. My child is going to come with makeup and nail polish.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If she was not going to throw us through a transition, I know, okay, forget my child. RuPaul, who is, for all intents and purposes, a male, can come in with makeup and nail polish. It doesn't mean that your job is still to, which, you know what, and I didn't show you this one. Someone else now commented below and said, this is why I have a place for pronouns and gender identity on my forms, So trying to help him see that this is not a thing that in today's world, we can't be arguing about this anymore. We all know that there's so many people who are gender diverse now, and they can't even open their mouths to say that they are because of people like him. And going to see your doctor should be one of the safest decisions you should be making. You should not, no matter what else is going on outside, your doctor took an oath to take care of you. And inadvertently, there's medical errors, that's true, but not consciously, in today's world, not asking these things, knowing the suicide rate, knowing the homelessness rate, knowing all the things that are happening. And, and I do get it, some states are coming for the doctors.
I know.
So I get that, but it is what it is. But we're gonna have to keep fighting. But don't expect a mother to cower away or kind of bow down because you are feeling threatened.
Nah. And I loved your response. Was like, dear doctor, because he was like, now how may I help you?
How may I help you?
How may I help you? And you're like, dear doctor, you can't.
You can't help me.
You can't.
Period. You just cannot help me, and that's it. I don't want you to, and because no, not if you have that mindset.
No, and and I've had some not so great experiences.
Oh, we know.
I guess my children have had not so great experiences. And I told you about the one time that the doctor was talking about my child outside of the room.
Oh, okay.
And they overheard the whole conversation.
I want to think about that today. Go ahead.
And so you don't realize how thin the walls are, and you don't realize what the children are overhearing. And this was just a silly little sports physical. Nervous and didn't want to touch my child.
Yes.
And I was like, it's a sports physical. We're not even doing anything here. I don't even need you. I just need this paper sign.
Kimmy, that video is everything. And so if you all are just joining us, Kim and I are talking about an experience that she had, which of course she can tell the story better than me, but she had with her child. I had asked her to record a 2 to 3 minute video for me. And it took everything for Kimmy to do that. So Kimmy, thank you again. I know that today's Kimmy would have done it like this, but that was when you were still trying to, kind of get, just put yourself out there. But Kimmy was talking to physicians because I was giving the talk to pediatric residents, and she was saying, the walls are so thin. My kid and I went for a sports physical, or at least I took my kid to sports physical, and the doctor stood outside the door and was like, "So, what is this? Is it an it? Is it a he, she?
Yeah.
What? I'm just going to go ahead and
What
use
is
them
it?
and see if they correct me. These are not comments you make, number one, period. And number two, not outside the door. And then the physician walks into the room and doesn't really want to touch the child. Even if I
Let
obviously
me add something. Let me add
go ahead,
something to
go
that.
ahead.
My
Yeah,
child
please.
was older and wanted to go back by themselves. So I let that happen. Now, they're 16. You're supposed to be able to let your child be with the doctor alone. That's common. I didn't know the harm was done until, several hours after we got home and my child was in a bad place, let's say.
So
So
we
we can't
mom.
have that. We can't have that anymore. That's
Yeah. And so an institution like that, we need the entire 10 out of 10 mama beast mode in a
mhm.
case like that.
Yeah, I had to be
I don't
restrained.
even really know. Anytime Mama Beast comes out, I don't even really know that there's any other level except 10. I mean, let's just be honest. Because usually that means our child is involved. But to whoever is listening to us, imagine if that were you and that was your child who had gone to the back to have a sports physical. Imagine how you would feel. Welcome to the show, Talk Adult. This is so cool. Imagine how you would feel if your child went to the back to see the doctor for a doctor's visit and then comes out crying, comes out their heart broken, comes out. This is why the queer community avoid doctors' offices. And this is only one mom telling her story. Imagine how many more.
That's one visit.
Imagine how many more.
Mhm.
Exactly.
That's one visit. This is why we're here.
This is why we're here. This is why we're normalizing conversations about being a parent of a trans child, being a parent of a queer child, period. And one of the things that I mention all the time is if you're going to see me, a cisgender woman, and you're not going to mention anything about my genitalia for this particular concern, then when you see my child who is transgender, you have no right bringing up their genitalia for the same concern, which is another reason why the doctor who responded by, well, however you come, as long as you're not vague, I don't care what's going on in your genital. That tells me right there, of course you do, because you are the one that brought up genitalia today. Like when my post had nothing to do with that.
That's right, because they actually did say, if your
Yes.
appearance doesn't match your genitalia, I'm like, wait, what?
What?
This is
And
a
this is what I'm
doctor?
saying. This is a doctor that's supposed to
And
first do
and
no harm, all the things.
and then I was just like, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, you said that, didn't you?
I'm not surprised.
You said that.
Don't surprise me at all.
So
It's sad.
anyway, yeah, it's unfortunate. So one of the things that we're doing, or that at least Kim and I are trying to do on our own, whether y'all like it or not, is come here every single week and normalize our experiences, normalize conversations about our kids being who they are, and we parents also being who we are, because this is the kind of thing that Kimmy likes to talk about, the mental health of the parent. The fact that things like this strain our own mental health as
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
And so during the class at Percy, which by the way, somebody made a comment and said, oh, they're so happy to know that Percy is doing this, having a Black person having a talk about being LGBT. I said, yes. So thank you to Percy for allowing me record an online course for you all to utilize to train your medical people that are coming through your medical school. But also, this is exactly why when we say parents also have their own journey, and why in this podcast we talk about the parent's journey, this is why you can really not separate it from the child's journey, but it's also an individual journey on its own. So if you have any questions, reach out. What's our email? Oh my God. Momsfortranskids@gmail.com. That's it. The number 4. Don't forget.
Yes.
Momsfortranskids@gmail.com. I wanted to remember that. But yeah. So, Kimmy, we've gotten to the end of tonight's show. What are your thoughts? How do you think it went?
It was fun. It's just like everybody's just listening to our phone call. We talk on the phone, we talk about this
Okay.
stuff, and
Okay.
it's nice to have these topics, you know, uh, be relatable to other people. So, I hope they're relatable to our viewers, and if there's something we haven't covered yet and you want our opinion on it, we got all kinds of opinions. Or if you want
Also
our
very
view,
opinionated.
or if you want our view on what we did in certain scenarios, I guess, being a mom of a transgender child or kid or young adult, you know, typey.
Yes, let us
We're here.
know. And yes, and yes, we may not always be this animated because sometimes we also talk about more heavy stuff. But it's prom season, spring has sprung. I mean, if you come at us, we will come. We will come for you, y'all. We will come for you. Don't think that we're not. Don't be looking at the pretty faces and the makeup. Mm-mm. We're coming for you because our kids are concerned. All right, folks. Today has been amazing. The show is called Moms, the number 4 Trans Kids podcast. If you hear about it, tell someone about it, share about it. And yes, to the people who comment on YouTube, y'all, always ask yourself, why do you think a show about transgender kids is on your timeline? Ask yourself, why do you think a Mama Beast's business is on your timeline? I know that when I go on social media, the only things that come on my timeline are the things that I'm usually messing around with, things that I'm interested in, things that I'm doing. So if I like that, I love that, right? Right? Hint, hint. So ask yourself, when are you going to decide to evacuate your closet? Let me, because I don't want to use the word come out. To evacuate your closet and find new dwelling, because we're waiting for you with open arms on this side. That's all I have to say.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right, folks. May 16th, we have our brand new webinar. It's titled How to Handle Homophobia for Good. It's going to be a conversation, an interactive conversation like this. I'm going to bring up a point and we'll all have a conversation about it. So don't be thinking that Dr. Lulu is going to come and give you all the fault. No, I will give you I've been taking screenshots of all of the comments I've been getting on my posts, which were about, I don't know, 400 comments, maybe or more now. So we're going to be here, but I think it's going to be a fun conversation. We'll all empower each other, teach each other, and learn from each other. What about you, Kim?
Wait a minute. So you're going to be bringing comments from the Moms for Trans Kids podcast?
No. From my post, that post that went viral.
From that one that went viral. Okay.
Well, I mean,
I was like,
maybe.
because I know we've had some hateful
Oh yeah, we
things.
have a lot of it. Last week we're like at 700 and something views. So of
All right.
course we got a
Of course we're
lot.
going to get it. That's a great sign. That's a
Like
great
30
sign.
yes, like 30 something comments. I was responding to some, and then at one point I just stopped because sometimes I don't even see. I get a notification, and then sometimes I don't, and then I go and say, "Oh, look at all these comments!" And some of them just the things that they're saying. You should be in jail. You should, Oh my God! I'm like, wow, yeah. Sometimes I tell myself, yeah, we should be cellmates. Like let's go. I tell you, but yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Thank you all so much. Join us next week, Sunday. I'll be driving back from Charlotte, North Carolina. So I don't know how my energy will be.
Another 7:00, you think?
Well, maybe. I don't know. I'll try to leave early. I know they're going to want me to go to church with them. And I'm going to try to see if I can leave early, come up with something so I can get back home early. But yeah.
All right.
But join us every Sunday. The podcast is Moms, the number 4 Trans Kids. And we're here and we're not going anywhere. And y'all have a wonderful week that you deserve. And we'll see y'all next Sunday.
Peace.
Peace. Bye. Thank you, Judy, for all your comments. Judy says, keep on keeping on, dear peeps. Night, night. Good night.
Good night, Judy.
Bye, y'all.
Night.
Bye, everyone.